Number 7, James Dye, and number 34, Tony Hart, the leading challenge runner. The challenge being run for riders of 25 years and older. The Michelin Young Guns, those under 25. Down they go towards Hatchets for the first time. We've got a camera on board the number 69 machine of AJ Hutchinson. AJ, young Irish rider, and my goodness me, that's what you get in the damp in the Triumph Triple Challenge. Great shots these. I mean, obviously the water affecting the vision there, but that, believe me, is not as bad as it's affecting the vision of the riders. James Dye, after another electric start. He's always been a good starter. He was a good starter when he was on an Aprilia Super Team, but now on the Triumphs he seemed to have kept that skill. He leads from Michael Booth and James Wainwright. Another great shot from AJ's bike here. And it's Tony Hart, who was the leading challenge runner, starting on the outside of that front row of the grid, who is in 4th place at the moment. This a very rare thing this season to see anybody other than Ricky Chadwick up the front of the challenge. A bit of a change. Michael Booth, well, a potential change anyway, gets up alongside James Dye. It's not going to quite come off. And a good shot of Paul Davis there, second of the challenge runners at the moment. The problem with the manoeuvre that Michael Booth made there is you lose a bit of drive out of the hairpin by making an attempt that doesn't come off, and sure enough, he does lose that position. James Wainwright just nips up the inside as they run towards the S's. So James Dye from James Wainwright, the two Jameses at the front. Michael Booth tucked in there. Still Tony Hart up the front. There's Paul Davis, not that far back from that leading group. Second of the challenge runners, but Tony, a very good performance so far here at Pembrey. And coming off the back of 4th place in the Super Pole race for Tony, and the first time that anyone has won anything this season in the challenge other than Ricky Chadwick. So good performance from Tony down here in Welsh Wales. And there we see James Dye putting on the anchors gently as possible down into Hatchets, and that time James Wainwright didn't appear to have such a good line through the hairpin, and Michael Booth was all over him immediately, couldn't quite squeeze through, but it just goes to show that these weather conditions are a great equalizer. One tiny twitch, one small mistake, somebody's going to be there to punish it, and that somebody may just be number 14 there, Josh Cahill. Josh, another ex-Aprilia Supertini, enjoying his time in the Triumphs, and this his best performance so far of the year. He'll be loving this. Not sure whether it's just the conditions or whether he's made the necessary leap in terms of getting used to racing his Triumph, but a great performance from Josh at the moment, wearing wet weather overalls over their leathers, and makes it a little difficult to pick them out. But there, Josh Cahill, well, he'll be picking them off. One tiny error from any of the leading three, and Josh is going to be right in there. Out through Debenny towards the S's. As the race goes on, James Dye looking a little more confident these conditions, but there in the background, oh, it's Tony Hart. Tony, what are you doing? Going for a swim on the grass. That's exactly the place where he ditched it in qualifying, and now he's done the same thing, the exit of Debenny. Well, Tony was leading the challenge, but I'm afraid his challenge has come to naught in these filthy conditions, with Michael Booth in 3rd, but challenging because he comes up on the outside of James Wainwright as they come down to Hatchets, and he just chops across his nose there. So James Dye it is that leads, but Michael Booth now back up to 2nd. James Wainwright will have to regroup because Josh Cahill will be right on his case. That will allow Josh a little bit closer. And there we see number 71, that's Michael Collins, one of the young guns. He's having a great race with Ben Cater, one of the challenge competitors. Now Ben is up into, let's see, 2nd place in the challenge in this race. With the disappearance of Tony Hart, Ricky Chadwick is back at the front of the challenge. Ben Cater is running in 2nd, and Paul Davis, he's still there. He's running 3rd at the moment in the challenge. And there, a good shot of Rob Guinan once again, now closing on Josh Cahill. up the front, still James Dye. Michael Booth, having got past James Wainwright, is going to give it the big one once again, and he's running around that outside line down through the hairpin, and he makes it stick. Michael Booth up in down now, chasing him up once again towards the S's, but Michael Booth under pressure from James Dye. James trying to get straight back at him, and Josh Cagle and Rob Guinan there. That's the 5 leaders, and they're looking back to Jack Sim and Michael Collins, and behind Michael still Ben Cater running second of the challenge runners. But Michael Booth stretching a little from James Dye. The two of them getting away slightly from this battle for third now, where James Wainwright and Josh Cagle and Rob Guinan are all as close as you like. But up the front, it's looking better at the moment. Look, there he goes. Michael Booth looking very confident. Oh, he just chucks it in there. It is still raining, but there's less actually coming out of the sky at this point. But there are a lot of puddles, as you can see. Steve Smith picking his way there. We see Steve Smith once again in 6th place. And Ricky Chadwick, the leader of the challenge, being harassed there by young gun Jack Sim. And Jack just, well, easing past on the inside. Ricky won't mind about that. He is happy enough to be leading the challenge, particularly this weekend, where things not going quite his way in terms of the Super Bowl race and in qualifying. But with Tony Hart's disappearance, finding himself leading the challenge once again. Meanwhile, up the front is Michael Booth from James Dye. James Wainwright really got back in touch with the two leaders. So 3 for it, splashing through. AJ is running in 7th place. Just ahead of him is Steve Smith. But going around the sweeps at the back of the circuit here at Pembrey, I don't think we're going to get a sight of Steve. We might do as we come onto the start-finish straight. That's a real long blast down there, and blasting down it there, Michael Booth. He's got this very quick line. Well, it's been very successful for him up to now into Hatchett's hairpin, and that time James Wainwright closing mightily on James Dye, and they've got a lapped runner to play with as well. It could cost both of them, and in fact Michael Booth, well, seizing the opportunity to get away a little from his two rivals. And there, Josh Cagle under pressure from Rob Guinan. Rob already visited the podium, of course, this year. Had some great results, particularly up at Snetterton, when it was as dry and hot and sunny as you like. Well, it ain't like that down here in the valleys, but undaunted, Michael Booth from James Dye and James Wainwright, those 3 leaders, and look, in and out of the traffic they go, and they've really broken the toe back to Josh Cagle. Josh there still got Rob Guinan for close company, running in 4th and 5th, but you fancy the win is all about the 3 in the lead, and Michael Booth looking very definite and determined when he comes up to lap the slower runners, and that is so important in racing. If you're the leader, you don't really have the benefit as you come up to lap the slower runners, because let's face it, if you're leading, it's the first time anybody's gone past them. Once you've gone past them, they go, uh-oh, and they start looking out for blue flags. Not the easiest thing in these conditions, as we said before. But Michael Booth it is, that leads. James Dye still in 2nd. Still James Wainwright there in 3rd, with less than half a lap left to run in this first Triumph race of the weekend. Well, has anybody got anything in the locker? Michael Booth it is, leads down to Honda for the last time, but James Dye very quick under braking, and he goes through on the inside, but Michael Booth gets an excellent exit. Well, no, James Dye's going to hang on to it. Checkered flag.